So I was checking all the YouTube channels I regularly watch after I got home from work tonight, and I came across a video from one TrueUnderDawgGaming. For those that don't know who this is, TrueUnderDawgGaming is a YouTuber that makes videos on how to play certain characters in various fighting games. It's a really good channel, and as you can see here, this channel is in my list of channels I regularly watch, so you should definitely check him out. Now, as I said, I stumbled across his latest video titled Everything Wrong with Gaming Sins, Defending Mortal Kombat X Part 1, where he's basically responding to a video made by GCN, which stands for Game Care Network, and are the creators of what I think is the best CinemaSins ripoff series, Gaming Sins. For some reason, they are not in my suggested channel list, and I'm going to have to fix that real soon. Now, a while back, Gaming Sins made a video entitled Everything Wrong with Mortal Kombat X, where early in the video they listed off all the terrible business practices and microtransactions that the game has, and as I stated before, TrueUnderdawg made a response to it. So I'm about 9 minutes into Underdawg's video, and as much as I'm a fan of the guy, the video reeks of corporate slavery in the most disgusting degree. So disgusting that I plan to make a full video about just this aspect of his video in the very near future. But just to give you a taste of what's to come, let me play you this tidbit around the 8-minute 28-second mark.
And if you ever wondered why WB Games gets counted as a sin, it's because they are directly responsible for the bullshit business practices that I just listed. So now you know.
It is true that they are money-grabbing companies. I agree. But money-grabbing companies give you better games. And seeing as how here it's a bunch of microtransactions that you don't have to do, as well as DLC content that you don't have to buy, that's pretty damn fair.
You heard it here, folks. The money-grabbing companies give you the better games. That's funny, seeing as how I just watched Angry Joe's review of Star Wars Battlefront, which if said review is to be believed, you get hardly any content even with the high price of the game's Mega Ultimate Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious Hyper Remix Edition. And that's just one example of these money-grubbing companies not making supposedly better games. Another example would be Evolved, which gives you hardly any modes yet expects you to pay out the ass for all these cheap cosmetic weapon skins. I could list plenty more examples that disproves your statement. So no, Underdawg, the money-grubbing companies do not give us better games. That is about as false of a statement as it gets. And just because the DLC is optional and we don't have to pay for all the skins and other DLC content doesn't make it right. More often than not, DLC does not equate to an expansion pack for a PC game, because all in all, that's the inspiration all these companies have used to come up with the very concept of DLC. However, the major difference is that expansion packs usually add significant things to games that significantly lengthens the life cycle of said games, almost to the point where you're piling a separate game on the game you already have. DLC, on the other hand, yes, it can lengthen the life cycle of a game, but nowhere near the levels of a PC expansion pack. And on top of that, a good chunk of the time, the DLC that's being offered actually costs just as much as a full retail game. And not only that, some companies like to develop content for a game, but then cut it out of the game to sell separately as DLC. So instead of developing all these little things in order to nickel and dime us gamers for them later, how's about, I don't know, including them in the goddamn game to begin with? I have no problem with DLC, but it better add significant things to said game. Charging half the price for 4 new characters? Yeah, not significant enough. So it's not worth the asking price, and I'll go into detail on that in the video I plan to make about this. I don't know how old you are, dude, but with some of the statements you've made in this video I'm about to tear to shreds very soon, you could not have grown up in the old school gaming era that I did. The type of shit that is being pulled by companies like EA, Activision, and even WB Games would not fly. At all. So yeah, Expect me to thoroughly and factually counter even more of some of the stupid statements you've made in this video very soon. Until then, the Great Exposer has spoken.